Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. It's me, Pastor Jesse. After a little bit of a delay, trying to figure out how to get this whole video thing to work, I'm back. We are here. It is Youth Group Live. I am super stoked that you are here. Yeah, let's just dive right into some things that we've got going on announcement-wise, and then we'll just just see kind of where the evening takes us. Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm in here by myself. Alicia is at home, and I feel like there's nobody to like rein me in to be like, hey, come on, we got a show to do. We're trying to do something here, and so it's just me. So if I ramble or I just get sidetracked, then you'll know why. You'll know why. So there we go. Hey, just a handful of announcements. Maybe you saw them in as they were rolling through for the 10 hours that you guys were waiting, or you've already scrolled through the description. But there are a few things that I want to bring to your attention as we move on before we do our morning drawing. The end of, or the beginning of stream drawing. You know what I mean. First thing is, we love our seniors. And because of COVID restrictions and things like that, we won't be able to gather in the same way that we have in previous years to honor and celebrate those who are graduating. And so this year, what else I come up with? Because Alicia's not here, I'm like nervous about all the texts that I'm getting, thinking that maybe like there's no sound, you can't hear me. I've been silent for the last 5 minutes. Usually what we do is I put together a frame for everybody to write and say nice things, nice encouraging things on there. And since we can't do that, I thought the next best thing were to be if each of you were to take a Post-it note and write an encouraging word or something, even if it's just your name, I suppose, for each of our seniors. We've got 5 of them. We have Kyle Hegstrom, and we've got, let's see, I'm gonna go through all of them. Zach Locke, Nick Kim, that's not right, Ryan Kim, Dylan Jump, and Lauren Bonsteel. And so for each of those 5, the slide that was during rolling at the beginning had them in there. That's a lot easier to remember. But if you could write a Post-it note for each of them saying something kind, then I'm going to put together a frame for each of them and hand it to them. So that's what we're doing. This is one of the ways that we're going to honor our seniors this year, is by writing very nice Post-it notes and then putting them together in a frame to be delivered to them. And we want to do that as soon as possible because we're kind of at the end of the school year, kind of, whatever it is that ended up happening this year. And so the best way to do that, the best way to get those to me will be on Saturday. Saturday, we're doing this thing here. It's I think they're calling it like a pop-in or pop-by, or I don't know what it is. To me, it just reminds me of a big reverse parade. We are gonna sit in one spot and you guys are all gonna come visit to see us so that we can wave at you and we can see you. It's really just gonna be a great way to connect again. We've got some things that we wanna hand out to you, and as you guys come through with your Post-its, you can give them to me right there. Seems pretty great. So Saturday from 10 to 12, just drive on through our parking lot and say hey to us, and then drop off your Post-it notes for senior appreciation. I did send an email out to all of your parents. I'm assuming all of your parents. If you're relatively new, you may not have gotten one. But I laid out all of the details for this reverse parade, as well as the Post-it note thing, along with the names of the seniors. And so if you're curious about that, ask them to check their email and they should be able to fill you in on that. Yes. And then I saw Kyle actually mentioned in the chat just a little bit ago, asking if anybody was going to come either to this pop-in or to the, where's it out here? To the blood drive. Sunday, we have a blood drive where you come here, and then in our gym, a very secure and sterile situation, people are going to suck the blood out of your arm and give it to people who need it. And so if you would like to sign up for that, get your parents' permission, but you can go to the website, which is in the description down below, and you can sign up for a time slot to come in here and give some blood. Yeah, it would be just a really great way to give back, and it would be cool, right? I mean, giving blood is fun. Anyways, I always like watching them stick the needle in. I don't know what it is about it. One time I got squirted by, oh, that was great. Anyways, okay, that's enough. See, we don't need to hear any of that. Don't need to hear any of that. Next, final announcement. Sorry, I'm just looking. I'm curious. I get to see all the chat. Next announcement. Last week we interviewed Kyle for being a senior as the beginning of our senior spotlight. This Thursday, 2 days from today, we will be interviewing our very own. Nope, that's the blood drive. Dylan. That's right, Dylan is going to be our man of the hour. We are going to interview him, and so that'll be on Thursday. You're going to want to make sure that you show up to that. But if you've got a question for Kyle, something that you would, or not Kyle, geez Louise, my brain is all over the place. If you have a question that you would like Dylan to answer live on the stream, make sure that you send that to me. I'll send out a remind tomorrow for everybody to send me their questions. But then also, kind of in the same way that we did last week with Kyle, if you have a funny memory of Dylan or something that you just thought was really great, one of those great memories of Dylan, I want you to record yourself sharing that memory. So don't send me the memory on video. There was some confusion about that last week. I want a video of you sharing that great memory of Dylan. And so, but I will need that by about noon on Thursday, because I got to put it all together in this whole internet contraption type thing. And so get that to me so that I can put that in there, and then we can just have some fun with Dylan on Thursday. Yep, so that's what's happening on Thursday. Okay, now what we should probably do, and I can't remember how I have this sized up because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Hey, look at that right there. There is our drawing, our beginning of stream or start of stream drawing, whatever you want to call it. It's the one for Starbucks. This is everybody who commented on the Instagram post that I put up yesterday. And it was, gosh, what was it? Would you rather not be able to use a search engine or not be able to use social media? And I was surprised. It was kind of mixed. Some of you were okay without one or the other. I think I would probably have to do without social media. I don't know if I could do without search engines. That's how I get all my info. And even if you're thinking, well, you can just search for stuff in social media. You can't. That's a search engine. It would just be scrolling. That's it. That's all you could do. Scroll. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So anyways, this is everybody who commented. And so we are going to roll this right now and see who it is that will win Starbucks. And then I will contact you at the end of the stream to see what you want and to see your availability. Remember though, that if this person isn't in the stream, right, just make sure that I know somehow let me know. And then I will, ooh, things are a little bit choppy. Things are choppy. What is going on with the world? Let's see here. Let me know if this person is not in the stream, and then we will roll this again at the end. So here we go. The person who is getting coffee tomorrow, as long as they're here, is boom, Hannah. Congratulations, Hannah Banna. I will be bringing you coffee tomorrow. Just let me know that you're here in the stream, and then I will figure out what you want. All right, good deal, good time. Congratulations, Hannah. Yeah, there it is. I'm trying to, like, I've got the stream like running over here so I can kind of like at least get a visual, and I see it being kind of choppy. Let me see if there's some things I can like turn off on this. I tell you what, everything is just kind of a resource hog. Yep, there's nothing extra going on here. So, I hope it's just the way that it is. I am recording it, so I can always post the non-glitchy one if it's too bad. In any case, here we go. Yeah, I don't know if I've said this today yet or not, but man, I love you guys. I think you're fantastic, and I miss you. I really, really do. I saw two of you at the grocery store today, and it was Asia and Cosette at the store, and I just thought, this is horrible because I can barely say hi to you because we're all wearing masks. I'm not allowed to hug you. It's just, Corona. So, that's what happens. I'm just like by myself here in this room. Okay, here we go. What do I have next? What is going on? We are going to play a game that is based on you texting me a correct answer. It's a game that we played, oh gosh, a couple of weeks now. The name of the game, I don't know, how do I have this set up here? Let me check here. The name of the game, it is, that's the way it's going to work, is, boom, Theme Thinker. Theme Thinker. Does that help you? Does that help you know what it is? Let's go back to it real quick. This is the game where I'm going to slowly show you different options, different items, different things within a category, and you have to tell me what it is, what draws them all together. Let's see here. I'm going to turn. I see the stream frozen. I am going to turn this off. Let's see here. Maybe if I turn that off, I'll just have to turn it back on a little bit later. But by then, I'll be able to turn that off. Tell you what, you know what? I'm just gonna turn that off too. Let's turn that off. Okay, what else we got? Gosh, you know what? I wonder if it's just because. Okay, low. Everything is that same. Same. Oh man, it is like so frozen over there on that side. Okay. I don't see anything in the chat. Let me know if in the chat if just my computer is freezing or if all the computers are freezing. I don't know what all I can change. I don't know if I can change any of these settings right now because we're in the middle. It's good? Hey, if it's good, then it's good. Then I will stop looking at the screen and we'll just march right all ahead. Very glitchy. It is very glitchy. Nope, not that one, not that one, not that one. Output scale. Tell you what, everybody stay right where you're at. I'm gonna change. All right, well, whatever I've done, I don't know if I'm back. Let's let me reset this thing right here. You may need to reset your browser. It's a little bit closer. Whatever I did, I can hear the fan in the computer has stopped freaking out. So that's good. So that might actually help us quite a bit. Yeah. All right, looks like we're back. So we are playing Theme Thinker, and that means that I'm gonna show you 4 different things, and you have to text me what you think the category is that all of these things fall into. Last time that we played this, it seemed like it might have been a little bit too easy. So guess what that means? This time might not be so easy, but you guys are always smarter than I think, and so I think that you are going to do, well. And so let's go right on ahead. Okay, remember to text me if you do not have my phone number. Mention it in the chat. Do not write my cell phone in the chat, but if you know the person and you know my phone number, then just text them what my number is so that they can get in on this, so that we are not putting my phone number on the internet more than it already is. So, okay, here we go. It's already like jumping around. It's just gonna have to be how it is. If it seems like this is not working at all, just somebody tell me or text me, and then we will we'll just move on. So here we go. Okay, I'm gonna clear all that out so I've got some space. Let's go to texts. Now remember, if you send 100 text messages because you really want to make sure that that I see your answer, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna admit, because you're gonna text so fast. So if you got the right one, the very first one, you text a couple more times, I won't see it. So text me what we think the answer is, and then we will move right along. So here we go. Here is our question number one. Question number one, I'm gonna give you these clues, and then you be the first one to text me the correct answer, which I didn't write any of these down. Yes, Jonah, good job. That is number one. These were last week's. That is not last week's. That is not last week's. This is not last week's. All right. Well, let's just hope that I remember. Oh, Alicia's calling me right now. Let's see what Alicia has to say. Hello, Alicia.
Hey, how you doing over there?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, you haven't come back yet, right?
I'm back. I'm on.
You're back? Oh, my video glitched out. Okay. Well, that was me. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right. Okay, good stuff. Here we go. Okay, number one. Alicia's coming back. She's reloading. I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, here we go. Okay, number one. Here's your first clue. First clue. Oh, but I tell you what, this is just a good time. Here we go. Number one, dove. Anybody? Any idea? Dove? Okay, here we go. Next one. Jake. Nice. Nope, wrong one. Sorry, here we go. Clue number two, swan. These are good, but they're not correct. Not correct yet. Okay, here we go. Clue number three, polar bear. Uh-oh, running things off. Okay, a lot of birds. Oh, there we go. Cosette was the first one to get that. Sheep was the fourth one. It is white animals. Somebody said just white. And that was part of the answer, but not the full answer. White animals is what we were looking for. Good job, Cosette. You got that one. I got a text from Tina. Tina's playing. Hey, Tina. All right, here we go. Michaela, you were close. Oh, you guys were so close. Okay, Cosette got that first one. Well done, Cosette. Question number two. Now, just so you know, we only got 5 of these. So just really got to be on your game here. Here we go. What? Tina. Here we go. Okay, number two, first clue. Blood. Which reminds me, you guys should all sign up to give blood on Sunday. Yeah, why not? Why not? Give blood. Let's see here. Red. I like all of these questions. Like so far, you're just your guesses are brilliant. Here you go. Second clue. Navel. Navel, right? Like that, just like I can't. Right here. Oh, I have a stain on my shirt. All right, here we go. It's fun to look at all your answers. Tell you what, I actually already saw the right answer. Somebody gave me the right answer. We're gonna go through these though to help you out. Valencia, blood, navel, Valencia. But I already have the right answer, but maybe you kind of know what they are now. I'm getting a few more that have the correct answer. Final one, sweet. And these are all types of oranges. Jeremiah was the first one to send in oranges. Congratulations, Jeremiah. You did it. Good job, Jeremiah. Here we go. Moving on. Question number trace. Here it is. Here's your first clue. Wolves. Wolves. I like that somebody wrote for the last one just question marks. That's all I got, just question marks. Okay, here we go. Wolves. First one, wolves. Jeremiah, Tina, the last one was Jeremiah. Jeremiah got the last one with oranges. I am still frozen. Here, I can type it in here. Let's hear. I don't know why it's so bad. And Jeremiah won with oranges. Well done. Boom. Okay. I don't know why it is so glitchy. This is super frustrating, and I apologize. Oh, it's the internet. Okay, well let me turn this off. Okay, so I closed my internet that was using the internet. I need my phone to be on the internet. What else can I turn off? I think that's it. Maybe that will be enough to help. When in doubt, say that I won. Okay, let's move on. It looks like the stream is moving a little bit now, although it just says that like our internet is just lower than it needs to be. I don't know how to fix that. Tina says she's going to take a picture of my frozen face and make memes out of it. I don't know how to fix this. Yeah, it is really having a hard time. It says I only have a good connection. Usually I have an excellent connection. It was just the internet. It's gonna be a big bummer. I don't know what else I could turn off to make this work. Oh well, we'll just move right on, and we'll just have to make it work. Here we go. Okay, let's move on. Wolves. Second one, Boy Scouts. Wolves and Boy Scouts. What do you think? Wolves and Boy Scouts. See, we got a couple good ones. Camping, things in the wild. This is true. Wilderness. Okay. Okay, this isn't all of it right here. Let's move on. Okay, third thing, camping gone wrong. That's good. Jake says ranks, right? Wild, ranks. Nope, here we go. Next one, playing cards. Or is it playing cards? Playing cards, playing cards. How do you want to hear it? How do you want to do it? Badges, right? End in A. I don't know that that's very true. End in A. Nope. Oh, end in S. I see what you're doing. Oh, I have a winner. I have a winner. I have a winner, winner, winner. Okay, here is your fourth one, cigarettes. And these are all things that come in packs. Asia. Asia got that one. Good job, Asia. I'm going to write it in here. Asia won. It was packs. There it is. I think I'm just going to have to do a whole lesson tonight on just chat. I'm just gonna just type it all in. Okay, here we go. Let's move on to number 4 as best we can. As best we can. Here we go. Number 4, starting with C. C. I like Jeremiah said plural nouns on that last one. Here we go. C. Okay. Things that see. Okay, next one. T. Things eyes do. I like that. Things that spill. You can't really spill C. Start with S. I don't think that works, Jake. I don't think that works. Ends in E. Nope, doesn't. I mean, I guess kind of. Kind of 3-letter words that rhyme with C. Nope. No, these are good. Let's check out clue number 3. Q. That throws off all you guys' rhyming. Nope, not ends with an E sound, not ends with E, because Q throws that off a little bit. 3-letter words, nope. I mean, so far they are 3-letter words, but that is not the category that we're looking for. Very close, you're very close, you're very close. Let's see here, here it is. Boom, we have a winner. Let's look at our last one, P's. C, T, Q, P, P. That's a little bit throws you off. That one, but it is. Here is the category. Maybe it has a typo, but there are letters. These are letters. C, T, Q, P. I don't know why the S is there. Doesn't really matter. Jorgen, you got that one. Congratulations, Jorgen. You were the first one to mention that one. Just in case there's any question, I typed it in the chat. Good job, Jorgen. All right, here we go. Here is the final one. The final one. Our stream is just going to go on all night tonight. Here we go. Final one. Question number 5. Question number 5. Side. What do you think? Does that help you? Side? Oh, what is this? YouTube is not streaming. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix that. Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to change a setting here. I'm going to just...
Hey everybody, really glad to be here with you, even though I am not there at the church with Jesse. As we were talking about the logistics of curfew and who was allowed to travel, it just seemed easier for me to stay home and record. So here we are. This is my living room, or part of it. Tonight we're going to be singing a song called From the Inside Out, and it's a song about allowing God to transform you, the work that God's done, and His mercy to transform you from the inside out. And what we mean by that is more that it's not just about what you do, and it's not just about what you believe, but it's those two things together. And when we believe that God is good, our lives and our actions, they change and they're transformed. So I pray that as we sing this song, that we are allowing our minds and our hearts to be transformed. 1,000 times I failed, still your mercy remains. Should I stumble again, I'm caught in your grace everlasting. Your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all fame. Everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all fame, and the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out. Lord, my soul cries out. God, I pray that we are changed by you, and that we don't look at the things of this world and allow ourselves to become hardened, God, but that we recognize that your goodness is never ending. And just like this song says, your mercy remains. God, I pray that we recognize and walk in that mercy and grace that you have lavished on us, that you just poured all over us. God, I thank you so much for that. And I pray that tonight we wouldn't be distracted from what you are doing. God, continue to work. I know you're faithful. Amen. Jesse, back to you.
Boom. All right. Well, this isn't exactly what I intended. This isn't what I thought it would be at all. In fact, move over to the chat here so that I can see what you guys are saying. Yeah. All right, let me turn that off so I can make sure that. All right. Well, hey, I don't know if you know this about me, but I oftentimes desire things to look a certain way. If I can make something look good, I want it to look good. And if it doesn't look good, then it's bothersome. And so I am bothered that all the cool things that I spend time creating and making to go around here won't be on display. But that's not what's important. I think the thing that's got me. Look, Caleb said, my grandpa once said, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Yeah. Yep, I think you're right, Caleb. Yeah, I think a lot of this is, let's, you know what, let's, I think I can still show this, our little intro here, and then we will, we'll jump into our lesson. So none of the other things are going to be here. The words that I've created, I would have to go through each one of the different things I made and reposition the video, and so they're just not going to be there. And so if you want to see any of the things that I have that go along with this lesson, just let me know and I will post them. So this is just how it's going to be. It's going to look less fancy, but that's okay. We are in a series called Truths from Story. And I grabbed the wrong notes. where we look at a story, sometimes true, sometimes fictional, sometimes based off of a true story, and see what truths we can pull out of it. And today's story is a mostly true story. It was based off of true events, with some things changed about it, but it is a story nonetheless that is good for us to think about. I think it helps kind of picture things in our own world, in our own terms, the same way that Jesus used parables. We get to use stories to kind of get different points across to see things in a different way. This story today is about a boy named Jake, not our Jake, not Jake Black. This is just Jake. In this world, he actually doesn't have a last name. There is no last name for Jake. On this day, it was just like any other day. He was sitting in Miss Spencer's class, and she was boring. She is a boring teacher. People notoriously doze off in her class, but she teaches in a way that she expects everybody to hang off of every word, but nobody likes listening to her. She's just not that great of a teacher. And on the day that this story takes place, Jake has already dozed off twice in her class. But then as she's talking, she says something that just perks Jake up. He immediately wakes up. Miss Spencer was talking about Big Bang, the Big Bang Theory, and she was saying it as if it were a fact. According to Miss Spencer, all of creation, everything that ever existed, came from this one Big Bang. And Jake, as he's trying to wake up, he thinks to himself, is this it? Is this the moment that I have been preparing for? Is this the time to speak up? According to Jake's Sunday school teacher, it was. This was the moment. This was that epic moment that everybody waits on, where they get to stand up, defend their faith, and then movies are made about it. Right? That's what Jake thought. He could remember Mark's words clearly. Mark was his Sunday school teacher. He could hear his words clearly. When the school tries to tell you what to believe, you must always be prepared to give an answer for what you actually believe. Mark drilled this into the students' heads over and over and over. Always be prepared to give an answer for what you believe. Jake remembered that it was, somewhere in 1 Peter or something. And Jake was prepared. He and the rest of his Sunday school class had spent weeks and weeks and weeks tearing apart the evolutionary theory, poking holes in it, and really making sure that every time they talk about it, they say theory. Right? That was one of Mark's pet peeves, that teachers and professors are always trying to talk about evolution as though it was a fact. And so they always wanted to say, hey, make sure you say it's just a theory. As Jake was sitting there listening to Miss Spencer talk, he was kind of working himself up, right? Building up the courage to say something, to finally speak up. And so he's saying over and over in his head, always be prepared to give an answer for what you believe. Always be prepared, always be prepared, always be prepared. And it was time. Jake stood up. I don't believe any of this. I don't believe it. Other students who had been in the process of drifting off to sleep were now awake, and all eyes were on Jake. Jake had a captive audience. Jake said, this is just a theory. That's it. Just a theory. And Miss Spencer paused for a moment, waiting and processing how she was going to respond. And she said, yes, Jake, it is a theory, backed by scientific research and studied and talked about by some of the most brilliant minds across the world. All eyes went right back to Jake. How's Jake going to respond? Jake thought hard about how he was going to answer. And the argument itself, like he had some answers, but the whole thing lasted like a minute. Like it did not last long. Every time Jake would try to say something, the teacher would be really quick to cut him off, to belittle his answer, eventually moved on. The whole class kind of just moved on with her, thought nothing of it. Jake, though, Jake couldn't as he sits down in his desk, he kind of silently to himself, he's thinking to himself, he says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for their righteousness." Right? This is what Jake believes about himself, believes about this experience that he's just had. He went to his Sunday school teacher and told him all about it. And Mark was very impressed. Mark even congratulated him. "Well done, you stood up for your faith. Now, here are the things that you need to say next time. For the next battle, these are your arguments." Unfortunately, though, Jake was distracted. He wanted to hear all these things, but he was preoccupied by a test that was coming up the next day. I don't know if you guys have ever had tests that you were preparing for that were daunting and overbearing and all-consuming. Actually, I know you have. And so he couldn't focus on this new stuff that Mark was telling him because he had to study for this big, huge test. Now, Miss Spencer, this is the class that it was in, Miss Spencer had been warning the students about this test for weeks. In fact, she had been giving a few minutes at the beginning of each class to review some of the material. As far as Miss Spencer was concerned, the students should have had this all wrapped up. They've had plenty of time to study. Jake, though, hadn't even started. Now, I'm sure that's none of you. I'm sure none of you have waited until the night before a huge test to begin studying, but that is where Jake found himself. The night before the test, right after dinner, Jake decided it was a good time to start studying. After about 30 minutes of highlighting and researching and looking at all the things that Miss Spencer told him to memorize, he kind of became overwhelmed by all of it. He paused, he stared at all the work, and he knew that he had like a literal 4 hours of studying to do just to pass. Like he knew it was going to take everything that he had just to barely pass. It was overwhelming. It was too much. He didn't know how he was going to do it. And it was there in that moment that Jake realized, maybe I should have started this a little while ago. And so he started to freak out. Jake's parents are pretty strict when it comes to grades. I don't know if you guys have parents that are strict about grades, but Jake's definitely were. The lowest grade that Jake had ever gotten up to this point was a C, with the exception of a D he got on a progress report. Jake's dad was very, very clear that was unacceptable. And Jake knew that if he did poorly on this test, it would affect his entire grade. And if it affects his entire grade, then he knew that he was going to miss out on some privileges, on some activities that he had been waiting for, especially the church mission trip that was coming up that spring break. Everybody goes down to Mexico, the whole youth group, and spend time on different building projects and things like that. But then on the way back, they spend 2 days at the beach just hanging out. This was the highlight of this youth ministry. And he knew that if he did not score well on this test, if his grade in the class went down, he could kiss that mission trip goodbye. So the pressure was mounting. He sat there in silence, just sitting there. If you were an outside observer, you might have thought that Jake's brain had died and the overwhelmingness took over. But actually, Jake was justifying to himself the things that he was about to do. He's thinking to himself, bad grade, no trip. But God wants me to go on this trip, so maybe cheating is okay this one time. I mean, God wants me on the trip, so I got to do what it takes to get on the trip. I mean, it just makes sense. The next day, Jake sat in his usual seat in the second row and just kind of like positioned himself right behind the guy in front of him to hide his little cheat sheet. And then anytime Miss Spencer walked by, he would just slide the cheat sheet right into the paper. She would never know. Jake made it about halfway through the test. And he's not entirely sure how she found out or how she knew, but Miss Spencer knew. She walked over to his desk, reached down, grabbed his test off of his desk, and there in the middle of his desk was his cheat sheet. Jake just stopped breathing. That was it. Look at what we have here, Miss Spencer declared to the entire class. Jake has made himself a little cheat sheet. Interesting. Everyone popped up from their desks. They all stared over at Jake. Jake just stared down at his own desk. So, this is the kind of work we can expect from Jake, Miss Spencer said out loud. Maybe this is the work that Jake's been doing all year. Maybe Jake needs to be failed because he's been cheating since day one. Jake just sat there still. He didn't know what to think. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't speak. He couldn't move. All that he could muster was a silent shaking of his head. No. Miss Spencer marched to the front of the class to grab the phone. She called the office to let them know that she was sending Jake their way because he had been caught cheating on their midterm. She even suggested that he fail the class because he'd been doing it all year. Jake gathered all of his stuff and headed to the office. Now, if you were one of Jake's classmates and you asked him about, or if you asked them about him that year, hardly anybody is going to remember that moment where Jake stood up and defended his faith to Mrs. Spencer. But I tell you what, there's probably not a single one of them that will ever forget him being called out in the middle of class for cheating. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer, right? Like Jake's Sunday school teacher had good intentions when he continually emphasized that he should always have an answer for what he believes. But it's too bad that he was misquoting the Bible. Jake learned a really rough lesson that day. And it's one that I hope that you'll learn as well. Words are cheap, but actions speak truth. Words are cheap. Actions speak truth. No one remembers Jake's words, but they all remember his actions. They don't remember what he said about how evolution is a theory. They remember that he was cheating. And Jake's Sunday school teacher not only misquoted 1 Peter 3:15, but he also missed what the verse was saying. The emphasis isn't on always be prepared. The emphasis is making Christ the Lord of our lives so central that when others see us, they see the hope that is in us. And that's what they're asking about. I don't know if you have your Bibles with you, but 1 Peter 3:15, that's what we're talking about right here. I'm going to read that verse. I would show it to you, but I can't. I can't. I almost did it, but it would be too distracting. Too distracting. Okay, here it is. Here's the verse. But in your hearts, honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do it with gentleness and respect. Always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. No one's ever going to ask you for a reason of the hope that's in you if they never see the hope that is in you. And so then that passage doesn't really make sense. If nobody sees Jesus coming out of you, if nobody sees you living in a way that points to Jesus, no one's ever going to ask you for that hope. People may not even know that you're a Christian. This is where Jake was led astray. This is where his Sunday school teacher had really failed him and others. So many Christians, so many believers are taught what to say, but they tend to miss being taught how to live. After talking about how people don't light a lamp for their house and then put it under a bucket or a basket, right? That they light a lamp and they put it on a lampstand for everybody to see, right? Jesus talking about these things. He goes on to say in Matthew 5, he says, in the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. If you lived back in the day of having no electricity and you wanted to turn a light on, you wouldn't light a candle and put it under a bucket. Doesn't help anybody. But you put it up high without a bucket so that it lights up the whole place. Jesus is saying that we should be the same way. This is how we should do things. We should live our lives in a way that point people to Jesus. It doesn't say so that they can hear our ramblings or our opinions or our conspiracies. So that they can hear Jesus. And that they can come to know Jesus. And as they come to know Jesus, they will know how to talk and live in a way that points others to Jesus. And then they'll come to know Jesus. Do you see how this is kind of like a ripple effect? Our daily choices have huge impacts on those around us. Whether it's choosing to cheat, gossip, lie, steal, drive dangerously, or to give to others, to be kind, to lift others up, to use kind words. I've said this a bunch of times, and I'm sure that I'll say it a ton more times. Again, how you live your life is telling other people what you believe. And not only what you believe, but what you think they should believe. We learned a while back that your actions stem from what you believe. It starts here, and it works its way outward. What you do is a reflection of what you believe. If you say you love Jesus, but your actions say the opposite, what does that actually say about what you believe? If you're a Christian and the people around you know it, but you choose to cheat, lie, steal, loot, destroy things that are not yours, tell racist jokes, laugh at racist jokes, what are you saying about Jesus? Because you're saying something, whether you're meaning to or not. If people know that you're a Christian and you behave in these ways, this is what people think about Jesus. Because what it says is that he's okay. He's okay with these things. He's okay with you telling or hearing or laughing at racist jokes. He's okay with you lying and cheating and stealing. Because if he wasn't, you wouldn't do those things. How would you We are living in crazy times. Unprecedented things are going on right now. And how you respond to these things, the pandemic, the looting, the protests, Black Lives Matter, how you respond to these things is going to tell other people what they should believe about Jesus. Because it's what you're saying you believe about Jesus, how you respond to these things. And this isn't only in negative ways, right? In the positive ways, as we love and encourage others, that's also saying good things about Jesus. But our point here is that words are cheap and actions speak truth. Just because you say you're a Christian and you love Jesus doesn't always necessarily mean that you are. It's your actions that say what you actually believe. And I know that you believe these things. I've seen you all do great things, right? I'm not saying you guys are all horrible people, but these are things that we need to keep in mind because just like Jake in our story, we have a way of justifying our own actions sometimes to get away from what we know is right. Here's the question that I want to leave you with as we close out this part right here. What do your actions say about what you believe? Do your actions line up with what you say you believe? do they? I want you to really take a look at them, but I want you to try to see your actions from Jesus's point of view. Right? It's easy for us, like I just said, to justify our own actions sometimes, but if Jesus were in the same room, do you think Jesus would also be like, you know what? Yes, I agree. That was the right call. Or do you think instead he's like, no, I wouldn't do that. This is what we got to wrestle with. This is how we know what we should be doing. And honestly, if you get to the point where you have to go, oh, is this right? Is it not right? Generally, when we wrestle with that idea, it's probably not the right thing to do. Generally. If your actions don't support your beliefs, this is your chance right now to start making changes to getting away from that. This is your chance to make those changes to stop and to allow your actions to line up with your beliefs. It starts now. It starts today. If you need help with that, if you're not sure what to do or where to start, guess what? I got your back. All you got to do is ask. I'm here for you. I would love to walk you through that process. And now, please, won't you bow with me as we pray? God, you are so good and you are so kind. Help us, God, to live a life that reflects your goodness, your kindness, your gentleness, your peace, your patience, your self-control, your gentleness, and your love. God, may people come to a place of knowing who you are just simply because we are showing it in the way that we live our lives, in the ways that we talk to each other, the ways that we talk about one another, the things that we do for one another, the things we do for you. God, may more and more people come to a true understanding of who you are because of us. God, may we not be just people who talk a big game or talk in nice, pretty words about loving Jesus. But God, even if we had no words, God, may people see you through our lives. And any of us right now, any of us that are listening right now, God, if there is anything in our lives that need to change so that we can be more in line with what we believe, with what we say we believe, God, I pray that you would bring that to the surface and give us the strength and the courage to deal with it. God, that we can move past it and that we can be more and more like you so that we can show your love to more and more people, that then they can be more and more like you. God, bless these students, bless these leaders, bless these adults, bless anybody who is watching this right now. God, may you be praised, may you get all the glory. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. So even though the other camera's not working, what's great is that somewhere in here, I still have your 15 seconds of awesomeness. How would you like to be on that train platform? That would be pretty wild. Hey, let's see here. Let's do. I have one thing that I really want us to that I wanted to finish up tonight. But before I do that, let's do our end of stream raffle, and that's going to take me just a second because I don't have any of those things open because I have been trying to make all this work, and so. Where is that program? Let's see here, there's that. Oh man, how am I gonna do this? Okay, I don't know if you can still hear me, but I am still here. Is that the right thing? Sorry, I'm typing in passwords again because I closed everything. Let's move you over here. What do I want? Live? Let's move that one over here. Click, 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 not available. Why? Why is it not available? Huh? Somebody can tell me? Why is that not available? Let's see. Okay. Well, let's just do it this way. Let's just move that back. Hey, look. This is the side of my face. And then let's move this out of the way. That looks like it's also frozen because, I mean, why not also be frozen? It still says excellent connection, so that's good. I don't know what I've been told. I appreciate you guys bearing with me here on this. Let's see here. Okay, let me grab this over here. Still says that. That's good. That's what I want to see. Where is the notes? Okay, I've got a notepad. Notes. Oh, what is that? That is, oh, there it is right there. All right, here we go. Okay, what's going in this drawing right here is everybody who is in the stream, students and the students are game winners. I don't have a list of our game winners, so that was Tuesday. Let's see here. Who won our? Can I get real quick in the chat? Who won the games? I think there was. I know Asia won the end. Asia won one, and then Cosette won one. Jeremiah, Jorgen. Who was our fourth one? Did Asia win twice? Oh, I don't have chat. But my chat is frozen on the YouTubes. Let's see here. Can somebody text me? Somebody text me. Who? Oh, Asia twice. Great. Fantastic. Thanks, Liz. Okay, there it is. All right, so I've got you in here. This is for Chick-fil-A, and I don't see Hannah's name on the being in the stream. Is that correct? Because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that if Hannah wasn't here, that we roll that again. Oh yeah, I gotta pick that. Okay, Chick-fil-A. Edit. Let's see here. Taylor says Hannah was not here. Okay, so that we will run that again. Let's remove all of this. What are you guys looking at right now? I'm trying to. We got just my face. Just looking at all these different screens. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, these are our winners for the game. That's a pretty good game. I enjoyed that game. Okay, here is everyone who is in the stream. Fantastic. And then, although I don't see Ryan's name, wasn't Ryan in the stream? I could have swore I saw Ryan's name in the chat, as well as Caleb. Gosh, did this not update all the way? Let's see here, Ryan and Caleb. All right, what else? Oh, I don't like not having access to the chat. I'm afraid if I reset. Oh, here we go. Wait, Asia won. Oh, look, I do have a thing. 15. Okay, Dylan. Do I have Dylan in here? Oh, yeah, I got Dylan, Kyle, Michaela, Carly, Cosette, Taylor, Jorgen, Javen, Sydney, Alex, Jonah. Oh, Asia didn't make it into that list. So Asia's in there again. Caleb. Let's see who else we got here. Taylor, Dylan. Isn't Scotty Biggs? Isn't that Ryan Kim? Okay. Oh man, that chat is all kinds of messy. Oh, it's Natalie. That's not Natalie in the chat. Okay, Natalie. All right, there it is. Okay, I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, let me know. Oh, no, I've lost the cursor. Oh, that's Kyle. Scotty Biggs is Kyle. All right, well, let me get Ryan out of there then. Oh, almost took Dylan out too. Dylan, we are going to have a good time on Thursday. Make sure you guys come up with good questions for Dylan. Maybe some embarrassing ones. Not embarrassing ones. We don't want to be mean. We do want him to actually come. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let me move this out of the way, because I'm not entirely sure how to get that to work. Although, let's try this. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, where's that other window? Oh, there's that window right there. Let's go to this, which looks rather crazy. Yes, I would agree. Because what we're looking at is this, and I need to change this to this, and I want to change this to this. And the window, I want to be this. That might actually do it. Okay, that's great. And then well, I don't know why that's weird. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's take, let's hear. Sorry, I'm going to switch back for just a second. And I want to copy this. Boo-doo, boop, boop, boo. And I want to go to this. I want to paste. You guys, I am so sorry that this has been so crazy. But I so appreciate all of you being here and being a part of this. That's not what I wanted to move. This is what I wanted to move. Look at that. There it is right there. Okay, video capture this right here. I wanted that to, okay, whatever. Okay, let's see here. Let's roll this thing. Let's see who's going to get some Chick-fil-A tomorrow. My goodness, how long have we been doing this stream now? We on 3 hours yet? All right, this is the person who's going to get Chick-fil-A or whatever you want tomorrow. I will deliver it to you right after I deliver somebody else coffee, which I will have to figure out here in just a minute. We'll go back and rerun that. But the person getting Chick-fil-A tomorrow is, boom, Asia Bean. Congratulations to the one and only Jelly Bean. You receive Chick-fil-A tomorrow, and I know that you're here in the stream. Good job showing up so many times as far as the games and the prizes. Pays off. All right, congratulations. Good job on that. We will talk soon. Let's see here. Let's switch over to now this raffle right here. Oh, my face is a little too big for this. Let's get that one out of the way. I do want to what does that do? No, that's not the one I wanted to do. I tell you what, this program here sometimes is just too smart, and it does the things that I don't want it to do. Nope, sidekick. That's what I want to transform. I don't know why it's doing that. That's so weird. All right, it's not doing what I want. Anyways, it's just a big, huge screen. It's just whatever. Let's just do this. The person who will be getting coffee tomorrow is, boom, is also Asia. Tell you what, Asia, I will give you the chance. You won them both fair and square. You can get both coffee and Chick-fil-A tomorrow if you want. You won them. But if you would like to donate one of those to somebody else, send me a text and we'll make that happen, and then we'll surprise whoever that person is. Okay. Okay. Let's move back to the thing that I wanted to wrap things up. This will take just a moment. I hope that we still have everybody here in the stream. It is this is the end. Gosh, what time is it? 8:30. My goodness. I guess it's like youth group. I mean, usually we're not done till 9. As we wrap up our stream tonight, I really did feel all day, the last couple of days, actually, I've been really feeling that it would be important for me to share some words in regards to the things that are going on in our country, across our whole country right now. Specifically when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement. I had like a picture that I was gonna, but it is gone. Oh, here it is right here. Is that it? No, right there. Black Lives Matter. I I struggled a lot with trying to figure out how to say what I feel like I want to say or where to say it in the whole scope of this evening. And this whole evening has been one of the crazier evenings with things just not working the way that I expected anyways. And so I'm just going to get to it. I wrote it down because I really wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. But I think that this is important for us to hear. And I'm not bringing up any of this to start a debate. I'm not bringing all of this up because I think anybody in our youth group or that's listening to this has done any of the things that I'm going to mention. I think that we are at a really important spot in life, especially you guys as youth. You guys are the future, right? You're the future leaders. And so the things that you're learning and experiencing now are going to shape the way that you lead in the future. And so I feel it is part of my duty as not only your pastor, but as a leader to train and equip those who are young. And so it might be over your head, it might be too much. For right now, that's probably okay. But the hope is that it will stick with you. And when you are surrounded by so many voices, like I go on social media, I see what's on there. I know the different things that people are saying. So I want to throw my voice into the mix so that you have one more option. It's not just what you see on social media. There's a lot going on. And so I will say that if there is any, if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm okay if you disagree with me. But our chat in the comments of this video won't be a place for them. Okay, so if you disagree, I'm going to ask you just to hold on to your comments and we can talk about them later. I just don't want them to show up here because they will get deleted. And if you think that's censorship, then I'm sorry. But there is a certain atmosphere that we are trying to maintain as best we can here. So, but if you do disagree, I'd love to talk to you about it afterwards. Okay. As best I can, as a white person, if you didn't know this, if you didn't see my TikTok dance last week, I am a white person. Speaking to predominantly white people, I would like to explain why I believe that Black Lives Matter is important. And why replying with things like, yeah, but all lives matter, is inappropriate and actually does further damage. The black community is hurting, and they've been hurting for some time. Black men, especially, are being killed in the streets with little to no repercussions for those doing the killings. And this isn't new. This has been going on long before any of us were even born. The message that these deaths send to the black community is that their lives don't matter, that they're expendable, that they're trash, and that it doesn't matter if they die, and it doesn't matter who kills them. It doesn't matter. That's why the Black Lives Matter movement is so important, because Black lives matter. And you might be thinking, okay, so, but shouldn't we say all lives matter? Because all lives matter. It's unfair to say only Black lives matter because all lives matter. And you're right. All lives absolutely matter. They totally do. But that's not the conversation that's happening right now in our country. Right now, the black community is the conversation. How they're being treated, how they're being cared for, and how we actually treat them, and how we need to treat them in the way that we treat any other citizen. And I got to be honest, I have struggled with this. I've totally struggled with this, but over time I've come to realize that there is a certain privilege that comes with me because of my skin color. There is. I don't fear the police. I don't fear being mischaracterized when I'm walking down the street or to the point of having my freedoms or my life taken away. I don't fear that. It is not something that I think about at all. In fact, just tonight, in figuring out how we were going to do youth group, wondering if there was, because this was before we knew there was going to be a curfew, I wasn't concerned in the slightest that I would get in trouble or that I'd be stopped. I was convinced that even, or I am convinced even, that if I were to get stopped, I can explain it away. My experience tells me that I can experience. Just ask Jeremiah. I was on the phone with him. I think he was with me the other time, even that I've gotten pulled over and let go. My experience tells me that I'm okay with talking to police officers. I have nothing to fear. And even if I do get a ticket, it's okay. I deserve it. But then in realizing that Alicia will be having to drive through that same curfew area in an area of town that's a little bit tougher than mine, she doesn't get the benefit of those same expectations. The perception of what she's doing is drastically different than me, just by perception. And that's the way that it is. I have a friend who posted on Facebook that she was just getting so frustrated with seeing so much of the protests, the chaos, the hurt, the anger, all of these different things that she thought, I just have to get away from social media. I'm going to turn off all social media because I just need a break. And in that moment, realized she can turn it off. That's a part of being white. We can turn it off and just be okay. Our black brothers and sisters cannot. This is life for them. They cannot just hide stories. They cannot just log off of social media and take a break. It's with them everywhere, and it is unfair. This is the reality that they keep hidden just below the surface, and this is something that has to change. And it starts with us. It starts with us agreeing that this is wrong, calling out those who are doing the wrongdoing, but then at the same time supporting those who are doing the right thing, to include our officers who are working tirelessly to try to keep people safe. We've got a couple of them within our church right now who are some of the most incredible men I've ever met in my entire life. And we need to stop saying things like all lives matter. We need to stop. Or we need to stop saying blue lives matter, and coming up with other colors to take away from black lives matter. We need to stop that. Because right now the conversation is black lives matter. When you say all lives matter, you belittle what the black community is experiencing, and you're saying that their circumstance doesn't warrant special attention. Let's say one of my boys walks up to me bleeding profusely from one of his arms. Just bleeding. And my first reaction is to gather my other two boys, set all three of them down, and ask them how they're doing. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Two of them are doing great. Two of them don't really have any problems. And so the consensus of the whole group is that we're fine. We're fine. And no. My absolute first reaction is to take care of the boy that's bleeding. That's my focus. That's who matters. Because he's the one who's bleeding. He's the one who's hurt. When Jesus goes to the woman at the well in Samaria, it's a group of people that the Jews hated. He was caring for the needs of that woman and those people, that community, because they are who mattered. When Jesus calls for the disciples to let the children come to him, regardless of the different things that were going on, he was caring for the needs of those children because they are who mattered. When Jesus stopped as he was walking through the city to call Zacchaeus out of the tree and to go to his home to eat with him, the sinner, he was caring for the needs of Zacchaeus because Zacchaeus is who mattered. When Jesus healed people on the Sabbath, he was caring for the needs of those people because they, in that moment, are the ones that mattered. When Jesus rebuked Peter for slicing off the ear of the guard who was attempting to arrest Jesus and then healed that guard's ear, he was taking care of him because in that moment, he's the one that mattered. Jesus absolutely stands with every single one of us. stands with us because he loves us. He cherishes us. We have worth and value to him, every single one of us. But he always gives attention to the person that needs it right there in the moment. That's Jesus' focus. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our black brothers and sisters are hurting. They're hurting. And they're crying out for somebody to pay attention. And they have been for some time. It is time for us to stand with them. It is our turn to prove to them that we care and that they matter. I'm going to end, this is quite a bit already more somber than usual. I'm going to end with an image, and I need to bring it over here real quick. And I want it to be something that we think about as we close out. I want you to remember that this is not, I'm not saying all of this because I think that you have done these things, or that because you're guilty of them, or because of whatever. I'm saying these things because we need to think about them. We need to know what's going on. And I'm a little bit bummed that I feel like I don't have this image right here with me. It's all right. Give me 1 second. This is just par for the course, right? This is our whole evening. Give me just 1 second, and it will show up. This is kind of where technology works really well, in that you can just click a couple buttons on one computer, and then it shows up on the other. Okay. This right here is what I want to end. This is what I want to end on tonight. This right here. Oh wait, did I get? Oh, you can still hear me. This is a list. Not all, but a lot of the names of black men and women who were killed while unarmed over the last few years. And so I want you to look at it, to read it, to read those names. This is where it starts, us making a difference and recognizing the names of the people who have started, who have contributed to the need for a Black Lives Matter movement. If you scroll down to the bottom of the description, you'll even see a list of names and what they were doing just before they were killed. This is a difficult time, right, for all of us. This is just a weird season, a horrible season of pandemic and riots and chaos and misinformation and not really knowing who we can trust. Let me tell you that we can always trust Jesus. Always. We always have the opportunity to love. Always. That should be our end-all, be-all of everything that we do. And so I'm asking you to just consider saying that enough is enough and standing with our brothers and sisters. I love you guys. Be safe. And I'll see you later. We will have the Zoom open. You can join us in there, and we'll chat. Okay? I really do love you guys. I hope you have a good evening.